Okay, so I'm going to do a quick interior walk around of the house. Now, these are pictures that I took of the house immediately after I signed the paperwork and the house was mine. So there's nothing done to it. This is me walking in and taking pictures for the first time. Now, we're going to do this in a pattern. We're going to go in what is the rear door, into the foyer, then in the kitchen, then this area, which is the dining room, or what I think was the dining room, then the living room, then we'll pop upstairs, and then I'll show you a few pictures of the cellar. So let's just get to it. So this is the foyer area. Let me grab a brush here. Don't need it to be that big. Okay, so the door is that way. So you walk in. I'm actually standing in the doorway that is between this foyer area and the kitchen, looking out into the foyer. And of course, here is the external porch that I can't get to without going outside and around this wall. This is the connection for that chimney outside where a gas heater, not gas, it would have been, I guess, coal or wood. Most likely a wood-burning stove was put here. But this was just homeowner build a wall as a porch and then enclose it. Very, very, very poorly done. This insulation isn't good installation. It's like scraps that they had from somewhere. This roof is all warped because of water and the roof above it leaking, and this is just crap. Pretty much like everything else. But if we are standing right here and we turn around, we have the kitchen. Actually, this is turn around and then step to the side. So this is the kitchen as it was. This right here was a pantry / laundry room. It was originally a laundry room, then I think they turned it into a pantry. I have turned it back into a laundry room. Right here, under this black block, is the outlet that was on the house for the dryer. However, when I bought the house, there was a washing machine downstairs. So they had moved that downstairs to use this as a pantry. And then this is the kitchen. So this stuff right here, I don't know what they were thinking when they built this. This is the worst cabinetry. I don't even want to call it cabinetry. It's so bad, cabinetry should not be offended by relating this to cabinets. This was just what they made. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, this honestly was more set up like you were going to put in drawers here, but that makes no sense. They did the same with this area and this center island. It was just atrocious and a mess. I recently just ripped out this center island. Finally. It was the wrong size. It was too close to the sink. It didn't make any sense. I've ripped it out. I did a little video of part of me ripping it out. That will get uploaded later. But this is, I've slowly been kind of undoing this as it gets further. Like these shelves here, this section, I cut out completely so I could actually put in a dishwasher. Just a small one that I had. Because I was getting tired of having to wash dishes by hand. Honestly, I'll admit, I'm lazy. Double basin sink, kind of nice, except it's all rusted and nasty, like everything else in the house. This roof is a sore subject. So yeah, this is the kitchen. Let's just speed right along into what is, I believe, the dining room. So here's the kitchen. Here's that nasty center console thing. Here's the bathroom, right there. You can see the wonderful care and concern that went into this house. Office-style drop ceiling in a house is so classy. I mean, these people were definitely above, ahead of the times. I don't know when this is going to take off and people are going to start doing office drop ceilings in their house. But when that happens, these people will be the first to claim, hey, we did that. We did that before. This section here, this is like you're looking at it going, well, what the heck is that? That's exactly what you should be thinking. This is nothing more than 1/8-inch ply that they slapped on the wall and painted. And if you're sitting there going, well, hold on a second, that's a different color gray than this, you are absolutely correct. I guess they just wanted to have this as an accent wall. Maybe? Is there anything I can think of? And they didn't put floor trim down here. I don't know. don't know what was going on, don't know what they were thinking, don't really want to know what they were thinking. I mean, there's a morbid curiosity about what on earth were they thinking. But there's some things that I think are best just left lost to time so that none of us have to understand. I did pull this ceiling down. Unfortunately, I did not get many pictures of just this ceiling pulled down because I found a ceiling above it, which is fun because there's a ceiling above that. This is the third ceiling in this dining room. I will do something about that later in another video, but let's keep moving along. So here we are turning. This is, so if we stand right here and look towards what is now the screen, if we do that, this is what we're going to see. You can see more wonderful craftsmanship, more paneling that doesn't really fit together. Just, yeah, nice holes. That's always nice. This window is hilarious because you see this right here. You see this. You see how you can actually see light between the outer frame of this window and the frame of this window. Like, these windows this one should go that way, and this one should go that way. And when they do that, these should overlap as a center pillar. They don't. Now, why don't they? Because they bought this window, the glass, the sliding part, to make a window in their house, and they didn't even make it fit. Don't know why. Because they redid all of this. Later I've pulled all this paneling off. All this paneling in this room is completely gone. That's for another video. But, like, here's just a perfect example of the insanity. Hey, let's put a window in this room. Okay, great idea. Okay, let's go get a window for this room. Okay, great idea. Hey, you know what would be great? Is if when we put the hole in the wall for the window we have, it doesn't fit. That's the brilliance of this place. I tell you, it's amazing. And, like, there you go. You see, it doesn't line up. Now, during the winter, this is horrible because guess what happens when cold air blows? Whoop, right through. So I've had to seal this window. Like every window, this window's going to have to go. And, well, let me just stop here for a second. And let's just ask a simple question. Do you know straight lines? Now, the image itself is a little off as far as being straight. So let me try, where is that? It's under layer, transform, arbitrary rotation. Oh, nope, I need to select the whole thing. There we go. If we, that's close. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. Okay, so this is leveling based on the window, mind you. Now, if you look at that and you go, oops, that's not the key I wanted. That's the key I wanted. So if we look at that and go, yeah, okay, it's pretty level. It's pretty straight. Okay, let's tell you what. Let's paint this, since we know this to be actually even. It's a rectangle. I made it with the rectangle tool. Now, I'll fix that in a second. Let's bring that down here to the floor, and oh, hold on a second. Look at that heater. Look at that. Yeah. There is not a single wall that I have found in this house that is plumb. It's all chaos. As are pretty much all things with this house. Now, the question is, okay, well, what's actually level here? Is the floor level? Is the window? Is this heat register? Is this actually properly level? Well, maybe. I don't know. Because I haven't wanted to take the level and actually put it around here and find where is level and where isn't. Because my fear is that nothing is. And I will not be able to find a single part of this house. So I've just assumed that I'm not going to find it. But I don't want to actually prove that to be true. I'd rather that be a mystery. But moving along, we're going to turn to our left. We're going to walk into the living room, and then we're going to turn around and take a picture of the floor. Because while we're talking about things being level, you see this? You see how nice and straight all these are? Oh. Yeah, the floor is falling out here. Now, they did try to fix this in the cellar. I'm not going to cover that in this video because that's a whole nother issue. Their fixes actually made things worse, which, considering everything else in this house, is par for the course and is almost what I should expect now at this point for everything with this house. Is there a problem? If they attempted to fix it, they made it worse. But let's look at the rest of this room. Here you can see the hearth that I was talking about that they tried to make. Nice big wall. I mean, it looks beautiful. It looks nice. It's just a fascia. This is the only part that's actually a fireplace. However, you know, it's completely cracking here, and there's a couple spots over here somewhere that I think it's cracking. All of this is going to have to be redone. I'm going to keep the fireplace, but in the, I don't want to say attempt to fix the foundation, while they're fixing the foundation, A, this is a lot of weight just to have hanging off one side, and B, I'm probably going to just keep this center portion and do something different. Also because I want to get rid of this drop ceiling, because just like this room and its drop ceiling, this room has a drop ceiling, because why wouldn't it? This is, if we turn around now and look back in this direction, we have this little closet, I guess you would call it. There was a phone line running through here to get upstairs. That was nice. There was only phone upstairs. There was no TV, no cable. Just phone and electricity. Oh boy, that's another fun thing, which I will get into. So, this outlet right here in the kitchen. You see this one right here that I'm circling in black? Okay. This outlet is on its own circuit. Every other outlet in the foyer, in the kitchen, and in the bathroom, and half of this room, this side, is all run on the same circuit, which is also the circuit upstairs. I think I found 22 outlets in the house, and of that 22, 15 of them were on one circuit. These people were brilliant. But let's just keep on rolling, because I could get bogged down and talk about an hour on just one room of the house, which I'm sure at some point later I will go into. But I want to keep this moving. So this is the back door. So if we are standing here, oops, nope, wrong one, and we turn this way, we would see this door. I should have done one further back, but didn't think about it at the time, because for me this was just kind of a throwaway picture to show that this is the stairwell. Great, yeah, black on black. That's really going to work. This is the way to get down to the cellar, which I will do at the very end of this, because I want to go upstairs now. So when we're in the dining room, here's the stairwell that goes up, and this is looking up. I will do... Actually, I just recorded it today, a video of me explaining some chaos and nonsense right here in this wall. But I'm not going to cut that into this video, because I want to do another quick one of me kind of explaining other things in the interior without all of the paneling on that I've ripped out. But let's just keep on going. So this is the view from the upstairs looking down. Oh, yeah, this window right here, which is right here. I don't know if you watched the exterior video. If you haven't, definitely a fun time. I'll put a link down in the doobly-doo. This window only exists on the interior of the house, because on the outside of the house, they just boarded up over it and covered it with siding. Because that's what you do when you have a window, obviously. So here we are, upstairs, fully looking down. This is the bit I was telling you about that I recorded a small little video of today that I will put up at some other time. Now, if we're standing here and we turn this direction, we get the bedroom, which is the blue room, as you can tell. I mean, the White House has a blue room. I think my house can have a blue room. I think that's what I'm actually going to call it. However, in reality, it's more of a teal. And to be fair, I don't think I'm going to keep it this color. It's not a bad color, just not a fan of it in a bedroom. But this is the closet that I mentioned was originally addition. This is the floor right here. If you lift up this floor, which by the way you can because it's not actually nailed down to anything, you can look down into that and you can see the porch roof of what used to be the porch that was on the first floor. That then became where this is, which actually, perfect timing. So about right here is where this wall is. Let me change back to black. So this corner right here works out to be right about there. So all of this section, let me go back to white, come on, there we go. All of this section was what was originally a porch that then got enclosed and then at some point later did all this stuff. While I'm at it, let's talk about this. I didn't talk about this before. Now, someone, when we were going through this before, you might have thought, oh, that's an interesting bookshelf. It is an interesting bookshelf. It was never a bookshelf originally. Now, if you're looking at it, you're also noticing a large similarity between this and this. Because this was a window. Now, there's actually another one of these further down the wall. But at some point, they decided they didn't want to have a window here anymore. So they did what all people do when they don't want to have a window anymore. They went outside the house, and they nailed on a piece of ply, and then painted it white so it would match the window frame, and then put shelves in it. And now you have a bookshelf that's in the wall, which means it's not really that deep of a bookshelf. I think all in all, this is only about 5 inches deep. Now, this house was originally 2x4s, and this was back when 2x4s were actually 2x4s. But you consider the molding on the outside plus the ply, it works out to just, I think it was just below 5 inches. But here's the hidden gem of this, is that because this was once a window, and this is now a piece of plywood, there's no insulation at all here. And fun fact, anytime the wind blows in the winter, it comes this direction, right onto this section that has no insulation. Now, that's a bad thing. It's even more of a bad thing because from everything I can tell, this wall is not insulated. If I go into back into here, into the dining room, from what I have found, where I have found insulation, this wall, about that much of it, is insulated, and maybe, a section up here is insulated. This wall, going back and up and back, that wall is insulated. Come to the other side, there's like a section of insulation up here, and there was, I think, a section of insulation here, and then like a couple pieces of insulation over here. That's all the insulation on this wall. This wall is not insulated. I don't believe this little section right here is. I mean, I can see this where they just stuffed it in around the window frame, because obviously insulation is a great way to air seal. Haha. Please don't believe me on that. Insulation is a horrible way to air seal. But I haven't found any real insulation in this section. So this wall, I haven't fully torn into. There's a couple sections where I have, and I haven't found any back there. It's just an open cavity. So the wall that gets all the wind in the winter is the uninsulated wall. And while I'm here, this wall has no insulation. I haven't found any in the bathroom wall. I haven't found any here. Just, again, little bits that were shoved in along the window. This wall is not insulated. This wall, now granted this is an interior wall, is not insulated. And, well, there is insulation here. There is not insulation behind this. You can obviously, there's no insulation here. I believe there's insulation here, but I haven't torn into it to find out. So yeah, just a whole bunch of fun. So back to here. There is insulation, however, in the closet up here. They did put insulation here. So I'm glad that the closet is insulated. I also really hate this 1970s wood paneling. This is just nasty. However, I will say, if you're looking for decor options, duct tape, colorful duct tape on your ceiling, definitely the way to go. Really will set off a room. Turning around from where we are now, looking into the closet, there's the rest of the blue room. There's the stairwell there. And now we're going to go this way into the other room, which is here. So we are standing in the doorway looking towards that corner. Obviously, I don't know why I just explained that. You have eyeballs and can see, and you know how your eyeballs work. This over here is, whoops, this section over here, this is where the roof goes out, and there's the bathroom down there, the porch is over there. This, I don't think I have a picture of it that I can pull up right now. I'll have to find it, where I actually show that. So in the first floor, down here, remember how I was saying I had 3 ceilings? Well, up here, I have 2 floors. So there's this floor, this hardwood floor right here, and about 4 inches below it, there's another hardwood floor. Because, I mean, obviously, you have a hardwood floor. What you really need to do is put another hardwood floor on top of it. Because why wouldn't you expect that? So the next picture is if we're in this corner and we turn around and look back towards the door. There we go. Very disturbed people, let me just say, based on, you know, this, I will never believe in anything again. Well, apparently they'd never believed in proper home renovations. That I know for sure. The part right here says, wakey, wakey, big mistakey. I think that was a note to me of, you bought this house and it was a big mistakey. And, you know, then we have some nice, these violent delights have violent ends, which I believe is Shakespeare. I believe that got repopularized by Westworld, but I believe the original line was from Shakespeare. But it was very nice of them to wish me lots of good luck on this house, because I'm going to need it. And yeah, yikes. What did I just get myself into? I completely understand these sentiments, but let's go ahead and jump back down to the cellar to cover that, and then we're going to wrap this up, because this is going on longer than I thought. So again, if we're down in the living room, and let's just do a walkthrough. So we're, jumped ahead. So we'll walk out the door, walk down the stairs, then come into the dining room, and we're going to swing around into the living room, and then we're going to turn around, and we're going to go down into the cellar, and there's the cellar stairwell. Now, you can see by the flooring here, this was not originally the way to get down into the cellar. Now, this red paint on these pieces of wood, I have not found anywhere else in the house. Now, I know it's similar to this red. This is more of that 1970s wood paneling, whereas these are actual wood planks that are painted that red, and then there's some blue in here. I don't know where these originally came from. I hope to sometimes, at some point, find where this red paint is in the house. But as of yet, I don't know where these came from. It's a mystery. But they cut this out, the floor joists that were going across, and just put these stairs there that they made out of scrap wood to get down. Now, the foundation of this house that you see, and I don't want to jump down just yet, is not original. So when this house was originally built, it was 4-corner foundation. So you had a pillar in all 4 corners, then they laid down the floor trusses, and then they built up from there. At some later point, they built in walls between them, then knocked out the corner pillars, then built up, stuff in the corners along with the walls that they had built. It was a mess. It's falling apart because it was done improperly. And as you can see, like, it's just a wood beam sitting on top of cinder at this point. And there's gaps, and it's just a mess. This is the washer that I told you I found. If we come down the stairs, this is what we're greeted with. This is the washer. This is a hot water heater. Obviously, you know what a hot water heater looks like, or at least I hope you do. This is the chimney for the furnace, which is actually around this wall, which I don't have a picture of now. That will have to be in another video. This is just looking down. This is, you see this and you think, oh, that's a hole. Yeah, it really is a hole. You're not misseeing it. They just tore out part of the wall because they wanted to be able to get access to underneath what was the porch floor when they built this part and enclosed it. Instead of pulling up the panels, and the wood paneling that was down, floor paneling, and getting to it that way, well, no, it's so much easier to just knock a hole in your foundation wall to get access to the floor underneath, obviously. If we now turn this way, we have this. So this little room goes back there. There's another room back there. That's where the boiler is, or what some people would call a boiler. I call it a hunk of rust. The fuse panel, which is another nightmare of an issue. This is right here. This is the concrete wall block that is holding up what was the porch, which now has the fireplace on it. This is one of the interior walls. This is another one. This section right here is actually broken off. I don't have a picture of that available right now. This is an area underneath the porch that's blocked off, where I showed you that block wall was falling in. That's in there. This door was attached to what is a doorway. Let me clear some of this up. This doorway. However, this doorway is not straight at all, and this door doesn't close. Now, it doesn't close. Let me rephrase that. The reason that it doesn't close is not because this doorway isn't straight. Well, that's not true. Partially that's true. The other reason it doesn't close is because the size of this is different than the size of this. Because clearly you get larger doors than your doorway. Makes a lot of sense. This ceramic sink here, I think when I redo the house, I'm actually going to take this upstairs and use this as the kitchen sink, because my goal is to redo the house and keep the interior kind of like a rustic, I don't necessarily want to say farmhouse look, but more of a rustic old look. And I like big old ceramic sinks, and this is a big one that would work well for a kitchen sink because I've got room for stuff on either side. Obviously, this is going to need to be very much cleaned with fire and napalm because it's grimy. Now, if you have a keen eye, you may have noticed this and wondered, what is that? And if your keen eye made you think, that looks like a hole in the floor, you would be right. It is a hole in the floor. I dug down into this about a foot, maybe a foot and a half, and all I found was rubble and dirt and rock and trash, and I don't really know what's going on. The pieces that would go here, I can't find. I've never found. What's interesting that I did find is in this corner, there was a pickaxe, and there was tooling marks all around this concrete, like someone was tearing it up. Now, I don't know why someone would tear this concrete up. That seems kind of odd because that was done after the concrete was poured. A lot of questions there. And again, like some other things in this house, I don't know if I want the answer. So I stopped digging, put all the dirt and rubble back in, and when I go to redo the foundation, we're going to see if there's anything down here other than just rubble and trash. Because I am slightly concerned as to why someone would go down into their basement, tear up the floor, and then dig down into the dirt? That's best left unknown for right now. So that's the interior walk around of the house right after I bought it. Seeing everything in its glory for the first time. The next group of videos that I will do of a walk around, I have sectioned off by different rooms. So I have one for the foyer. I have one where I talk about the kitchen. I have one where I talk about the dining room and then the living room, and you get it. So those will be going up next. They have been recorded. I recorded them last summer. I need to watch through them because as I've kind of learned more about the house, I think there's some things that I mentioned in there which are not true. So those videos will kind of be annotated with, oh, nope, that's wrong, or, oh, yep, that's right. They will go up at some point. I don't know exactly when. But yeah, so this is the chaos that I got. Again, $9,900 when you buy a house for it. You kind of have an expectation that you're getting a mess. And, well, this is definitely a mess. But, you know, at the same time, I wanted a project. I wanted an adventure. I definitely got both. Thanks for watching.